now.
So this was my weekend, by the way. This is why I'm so happy. I bought goalie equipment from Canadian Tire, street hockey gear.
The one question I have, were you playing with a rubber puck at least?
No, of course not.
You had street hockey pads on and no protection other than
I wasn't even wearing a can.
How about that?
And I went, stack my pads. I'm like, whoa, I got nothing on down here. I never thought that I would be leaving my pins. Seriously.
Wow.
And no mask.
Talk about putting them on the table.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Absolutely. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody. No breaking news, just that it's Thursday, April the 8th. Welcome as I load up my sports update here for moments time. Hi, Moose.
Hi.
You know, you guys always get me. I never know what intro is going to be when we come in here and go to air. I never know what it's going to be. And one, as I went back and listened to that clip, yeah, we were using a rubber puck, a vulcanized rubber puck. Yes, so I wasn't wearing a can and I wasn't wearing a mask.
Wow.
It's not smart. I understand that. I just don't feel pain, neither physical nor emotional. I don't know why. And the other thing was I was watching NHL hockey last night, and I'm just in love with the goalies' equipment, as you know. All of their equipment, it just looks so comfortable. And when I went and bought that hockey equipment this winter, goaltending equipment for the first time in 30 years, it comes broken in. Their pads are that thin. They're like Kevlar with cops' bulletproof vests, thin. You know what I mean? And we're sitting there sopping around in horsehair pads. Can't get up. Oh, my God. So easy to be a goalie and a hockey player these days. Remember when the rivets used to burn through the bottom of your feet?
I don't remember that. I was a goalie probably at like 5, 6, 7 years old for like a couple of years.
Did you hate it or love it?
Yeah, because it's like the more tired you get, the more you'd want to sit on your knees. But the more you sat on your knees, the wetter the pads got and the heavier they got and the harder it was to stand up.
So you're old enough to know that.
So I was out.
The kids now have no idea. But no, those skates used to come, and most of our viewers would know they were like cindercrete blocks when you put your feet into them. This was brand new. And you'd have blisters for weeks. You know, by the time they're broken in, your feet are too big. You got to go get another pair.
Now they put them in the oven before you buy them.
They come broken in. It's comfortable. I'm like, oh, you guys have no idea. Talk about the back in our day, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Old man yells at clouds. Anyways, it's a lot of hockey today, but we're going to get around to the football and a lot of golf. But Killer Kaminsky is going to be with us. Kevin Killer Kaminsky, the former Washington Capitals tough guy, Saskatoon Blade, and the current coach and GM of the L'Orange Ice Wolves. You know, he can legitimately say he's 2 years Coach of the Year in the SJHL. Sort of like the Blue Bombers can say they're 2 years Grey Cup champions.
Right. It's kind of the same.
The reigning Coach of the Year in the SJ, Kevin Killer Kaminsky is going to be with us, NHL alum. Nate Ewell is going to join us from College Hockey Inc. Good get there, Clark, as they get ready for the Frozen Four opening tonight. Nate Ewell from College Hockey Inc. And obviously been aware of college hockey for years, NCAA. Never really done an NCAA interview until today. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And then Drew Koser, the host of this province's #1 hockey podcast, Hockey and Golf, Off the Hosel. Drew Koser will be with us to talk hockey and Masters opening day. So that's the guest list today. But let's roll into the leftovers, if you don't mind, please, and thank you, Director Jordan. You guys can continue to chime in with your comments, but don't expect me to get to them just yet, because this is me time. My quick six show topics. Wednesday NHL leftovers from last night. I wrote 5 on Twitter and then more came up. Like, for instance, the Winnipeg Jets are in Montreal tonight. Happy Jets game day, Winnipeg. But you won't have Blake Wheeler. And I went back again and watched the elbow by Brady Tkachuk that knocked him out the other night, and why Wheeler's not playing tonight. And, you know, I guess it just wasn't that bad. Like, if there was ever a case of you running into somebody's elbow, that was it.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of it?
Yeah.
Do you think Tkachuk meant to hit him? Like, those Tkachuks are the masters of selling dirty hits where you don't really know if it's intentional or not. How did they learn this?
I know.
Is it a St. Louis thing?
Right. Like, I didn't think it was their dad's game.
Not at all.
He was gritty. He was a power forward.
They're masters, right? These kids.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's happy that he got made contact with him for sure, but you want to make the hit, but no, I don't know that he meant to.
On YouTube, we got a viewer writing in, the Raging Dolphins Maniac says, "Hi, everybody from Rochester, New York. I can't figure this out. All these Americans, we were talking about it in the morning meeting. Why do you care about us? We're talking Junior A the other day, and we're getting comments from Toledo. It's like Brewster's Millions. The more you try to step on your toes, the more popular you get.
I know. The more success you have.
Why do you care about this stuff?" Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg writes in, "Kachuk meant to hit him." I said I was going to get to my comments here. So Clark, here's his suggestion for the poll question today. Is Jack Campbell the greatest Leafs goalie ever? He just said he was joking. No, you weren't. Jack Campbell set a Leafs record for, 10 consecutive wins? And he's passed now, all the greats.
Yeah.
Felix, Johnny Bauer, Jacques Plante, which a lot of people would forget was ever a Leaf. You don't even know who he is. That's fine.
Jacques Plante?
You don't know who he is.
Of course I know who he is.
Do you? Okay.
First got to wear a mask.
Okay, sorry.
He's like the guy.
Yeah.
Terry Sawchuk.
Okay.
Turk
Bravo.
Broda.
I didn't think you were old enough, but the first book that I ever read was Jacques Plante's goaltending book. I'll never forget. He said on the day of a game to put your feet up and, rest before the game, put your feet up. I'm like 7. Mom, Jacques Plante said to put my feet up the afternoon of a game. She's like, go take out the garbage and rake the leaves. Shut up. And also, the Arizona Coyotes are in a playoff spot and the St. Louis Blues are not. Just putting that out there. As of today. So one of my leftovers is that the Honda West division is far, far from over. Like in Canada, we know who's going to be in the playoffs in the Scotia North division.
Yes.
Some of these other divisions, you have no idea. Anyways, point 2, it's day 1 of the Masters at Augusta. And yeah, I'm into it. Obviously, we're the Deer Valley pool. It's very interesting the way that they've done that. You guys, you people that go in sports pools, you know where they have the boxes for hockey drafts for years? The old Kenniston hockey draft where you have to check a guy in each box. That's what Deer Valley did for theirs. So my wife and I last night went through and she picked hers. Yours and mine are far more similar picks than mine and hers.
Okay.
In the Deer Valley, $20. Money goes to their junior golf program out there, our official partner, Deer Valley Golf and Estates. But we're both thinking Jordan Spieth is the guy, hey?
I think so.
Because it seems like he gets on a roll.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
You hope that this is the start of him getting on a roll again. So, yeah, that's what he did when he was winning. They usually win in bunches. And that's the thing about golf. When you're playing great, everything's going your way. When you're playing bad, everything's not. So you hope he's on the right side. I also wildly took a flyer on Mike Weir in the bottom box just because he had played really good in the Champions Tour this year and he's come really close. So I took a flyer on Mike Weir. He's not winning, but...
Actually, in that same box, look at us talking golf here today.
I know.
In that same box, no, I did take Mike Weir. Sorry, my wife took Vijay Singh. She's the turncoat that didn't take the Canadian. Just putting that out there.
Okay.
So we will be following that very closely. And that's our poll question today. That's why I called up my phone for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Who will win the Masters? The top 3 choices that we went with were the money leaders, the odds leaders at Come On Official, our betting partner. Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau, or other. And leading, by the way, is other. On Twitter with 39% of the vote.
Yeah, Dustin Johnson's leading on Facebook, 50%.
Okay, gotcha. Moving on, I saw the comment come in from Ryan McCarthy in Albany, New York. He says, Rod and crew, your show is a break from ESPN/Fox Sports. Plus, you cover hockey. That's why I watch your show. Well, I appreciate it. Ryan McCarthy in Albany, New York. And he hosts the No Credentials Required podcast. I was on it. It's a good one. Our third point here in the warm-up is the Blue Jays home opener goes today. Are the Blue Jays coming down to earth? They lost the last 2 of the Texas series. So I don't know if they're coming back to earth or not, but they got the White Sox in there and Dunedin. They got the Angels in there. Shohei Ohtani and the Angels come in there. How about it's the Florida Toronto teams, eh?
Yeah.
Blue Jays are in Dunedin and the Raptors are in Tampa. It doesn't feel real to me yet. Do you?
Not really. I mean, it did when we were watching opening day. I enjoyed that and I was into it. But you're right. It kind of doesn't because they're not playing here. So it kind of feels like fantasy a little bit. But you know what? They gotta start winning series, right? You can't lose series.
Well, when I say it doesn't feel real, I mean it's not at Rogers Center.
Yeah, no, it's not.
The Raptors are not at Scotiabank Arena, so it doesn't really feel real to me since they've been gone. And some people think they're never coming back. I don't believe that's the case, but who knows? Here on the Apocalypse. The Warmup is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, by the way. Order a fabulous Four Seasons pizza and your favorite beverage for takeout and delivery. One-stop shopping. They got it all. Call or order online, Four Seasons Sports Palace. Point 4, CFL proposed changes to nationals. Here's what I've discerned in the last 24 to 48 hours. The CFL is not going to die. Not this summer, anyways. I mean, long-term, maybe, when it pairs with the XFL, and who knows what the name's going to be. But in terms of right now, they're not going bankrupt or broke. And from multiple sources, what they're waiting on is Ontario. And I don't know what's happening in Ontario. Like, I went on ctvnews.ca today. The entire page is COVID. There's no other news in Canada except COVID.
That's right.
And I'm like, there is another country out here outside of Ontario, you guys. But they plan to play. You know, I told you I got the news from an Alberta Sports Association yesterday saying that they think that by the end of July, by August 1st, they could have full capacity outdoor stadiums for outdoor sport, baseball, rodeo, football. So they're planning to play, Darren. That's the good thing. When do they chop the ratio down to 3? When do they chop 5 spots per team? We're getting a little late in the year to do that, aren't we? CBA-wise?
We are. We're moving really quickly. You know, this would have to be something that they would propose, right? They'd have to propose it to the players. They'd have to accept it. We're talking about, like, already being past the point of being able to pull off training camps on time, right? So what becomes the negotiations around ratio and Canadians, and how do you get that agreed and then find a new start date? It's holy smokes.
Yeah.
Becoming difficult.
I see from the comment board, Rob Somerville watching in Ontario says, good morning, Rod and Moose. Oh, sorry. He says, tuning in from the Peg. What are your thoughts on the CFL possibly having a season in 2021? This is it. You know how these big shots think. It's like eventually it'll come together. And damned if it doesn't generally always come together. That is by the work of other people, but the players have to accept the pay cut, and they need to find some additional revenue streams, and the betting things coming down the pipe. But if you're asking me if they're going to play, it's looking like they're going to play Labor Day at the absolute latest. So that's the good news. The problem is, I told you I was on the phone last night with a personnel guy for an hour calling me from Alabama. And he said, you know what, the coaches have taken other jobs. They're doing other things. Same thing for the players. It's just their lives are on hold football-wise, but they're finding a way to make a living until they get back to football. So they're not leaving the game, right?
Right.
Hey, thank you. Oh, I got a funny story here. Breaking news. The Moose Jaw Warriors have named Jason Ripplinger the new general manager. That was today. For the hockey fans, the Moose Jaw Warriors have named Jason Ripplinger their new general manager. Can I tell you a funny story that he won't mind?
Yeah.
Give you a little idea how things go on in the Dub Hub. I ran into Jason Ripplinger the other night. I was coming in, and he was going the other way. You know how it works there?
Yeah.
He's got his mask on. I got my mask on. And I leaned over to him, and I'm like, when are they naming you general manager? And as I'm leaning this way, he's going, like, get away from me. 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
He's so worried. And you can tell he's smiling behind his mask. He goes, well, what are you talking about? I said, come on, Jason. The chairman of the team's telling people they're going to hire internally. And he laughed. He goes, well, I guess it's just me and James Gallo. Small staff.
You start wondering there's right. Not that many candidates.
His point is small staff.
Yeah.
And he laughed. So he knew. He knew. And the only reason because I know other people that had applied for the job and they were told that they were going to hire internally. So I'm like, if it's not Jason, who's it going to be? The radio guy? James Gallo?
Exactly.
That was a funny little hockey story there for you. There's my thought on the CFL. I think it's good news, right? That's my commentary on Cat Country today. Maybe the ratio goes down a little bit. Maybe they chop Canadians per team. But in life, how many times have we said, if you're going to get something, you need to give up something? Go back in your life and try and find an incident where that's not the case. That you got something worthwhile, you had to give up something worthwhile. And in this case, it's that for the Canadian Football League. It's going to survive, but it's going to change, and you're not going to like the changes. Fair?
That's fair.
Couple more I had. NFL notes. We haven't really talked a lot of NFL, but tomorrow there will be a lot of it. Tori Gurley's going to be with us. Anthony Auclair, the Laval grad, has signed with the Houston Texans. So despite the grease fire that is the Houston Texans, Anthony Auclair is leaving the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go to Houston. More money and probably better opportunity, I would think.
Yeah, when it comes to Auclair, I mean, he's a good player, but Cameron Brate's there, and then Gronk signed for another one-year deal. So unless you want to have another year of waiting for an opportunity, go play, make your mark, and guess what? If Gronk plays a year and leaves, and if Cam Brate doesn't, last long, go back. Go back to Tampa if you really like it there. But he needs to look out for number one.
And just this Aaron Rodgers thing, I get what Ryan in Albany, New York was saying. I turned on Get Up this morning, and all it was Aaron Rodgers just jerking around the Packers, whether he wants to come back or not. And I'm like, I wish I could watch something else right now because I'm tired of this. Yet I still watched it.
I know.
What was I saying earlier about brainwashing your audience? Point 6 in the Dub Hub. I'll just say last night, Brandon beat Swift Current 4-1. The Wheaties have won eight in a row. Winnipeg beat Moose Jaw 6-3 in a battle of the Warriors. See what I did there? Winnipeg 6, Moose Jaw 3. There's one game in the Dub Hub tonight. It's at 6, PA versus Saskatoon. And that's kind of it for the warm-up today. Trent's watching in Norway. He says, Norway calling. DeChambeau is my Masters pick, but hoping the Canadian golfers can make waves through the weekend. The Oilers won last night, but the Senators seem to be a very fast team. So good to see the new baseball park in Regina coming. Stay well, everyone. Yeah, yesterday was a really great day, sports-wise, around here, and I'm expecting today's going to be just as good or better. And that's big reason is our good friend Kevin Kaminsky joins us next. Killer Kaminsky. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.